Happy New Year and welcome to the video. What type of life do you want? You ask most people this question, they're probably going to say, I want to live a happy life, I want to be happy. But this is a lot easier said than done with all of the ups and downs that we experience every day. But what if a TV movie held the secret to a happy life? Let me explain. So last week, I was celebrating Christmas with my family and we sat down to watch a movie. But it wasn't a big blockbuster movie, this was a budget, independent, made-for-TV movie starring Toby Jones called Marvellous. And Marvellous tells the true story about Neil Baldwin, who despite having learning difficulties, overcomes these limitations through kindness and perseverance, and works his way from being a circus clown to almost becoming a preacher, and ending up as the mascot and kit man of Sheffield United football team. And there's a scene in the movie where Neil's friend, who's also his boss and the manager of Sheffield United football team, asks Neil how he always stays so positive.
How do you do it, Nello? How do you stay so positive?
I've always wanted to be happy, so I decided to be.
I always wanted to be happy, so I decided to be. And this got me thinking, is it that simple? Is this really a thing? It turns out that it is. So in the book, How of Happiness by Dr. Sonia Lyubomirsky, she says that 50% of happiness is genetically predetermined. Basically, we're born that way, we can't do anything about it. But the other 50% is within our control. This means that even if you naturally tend towards the gloomy side of things, by following some scientifically proven steps, you can make your life happier. So what are some proven steps that we can take to have happier lives? Well, firstly, actively set goals. David Niven, author of 100 Simple Secrets of the Best Half of Life, writes that people who identify a goal they are pursuing were 19% more likely to feel satisfied with their lives and 26% more likely to feel positive about themselves. So basically, pursuing goals makes you happy. We should be grateful for what we have, but then actively pursue more and acknowledge that working towards a goal, however difficult it may be, ultimately in the long run is good for our well-being. The cliche about it's not the destination, it's the journey really rings true here. Next, do what you do well more often. You've probably heard the cliche of the starving yet happy artist, the person who's paid a lot less than other people but gets to do what they love every single day and is therefore happier than everyone else. But it goes a bit further than this. Sean Acor, in his book The Happiness Advantage, writes that when volunteers picked one of their signature strengths and used it in a new way each day for a week, they became significantly happier and less depressed. Now, of course, we can't just do what we love all of the time, life's not that simple, but we can find ways to do what we're good at more often. If you're a good trainer, find ways to train people more often. If you're a good salesperson, streamline all of your other tasks so that you have more time in front of customers selling. Everyone has at least a few things they do incredibly well, and studies show that if we can find ways to do these things more often, we will be a lot happier and probably more successful too. Before we get to the next tip, if you're enjoying this video, please consider subscribing to help grow the channel. Thank you. Tip number 3, actively and regularly count your blessings. One study, carried out by Dr. Robert E. Emmons, found that people who wrote down 5 things they were thankful for once a week were 25% happier after just 10 weeks. This suggests that happy people focus on what they have rather than what they don't have. Sure, it's motivating to want more, and we shouldn't lose that drive, but thinking about what we already have and expressing gratitude for it will make us happier. This way of thinking doesn't need to cancel out ambition. We can have it both ways. We can still have those big goals that drive us forward, that motivate us, but at the same time, we can still remember what we've already got, what we've already accomplished, and be proud of that. And tip number 4, more money won't make you happier. Money is of course extremely important. It gives us the security, it gives us freedom to take chances, to experience new things. But researchers at Princeton University suggest that once we earn $75,000 a year, earning more will not make us happier. They say that perhaps $75,000 is the threshold beyond which further increases in income no longer improve individuals' ability to do what matters most for their emotional well-being. such as spending time with people they like, avoiding pain and disease, and enjoying leisure. Another way to think about this is the bigger house syndrome. You've got a house, you see another house that's bigger, you want it, so you go and buy it. But then the problem is that that new house is now your current house, and there's always going to be that bigger house that you want to go after. The new always becomes the new normal. Basically, money is not always the answer. Rather than chasing things, perhaps we should be chasing experiences instead. So there we go. We all want to live happy lives, but with 50% of our happiness within our control, maybe the secret to a happy life is to live by the words of Neil Baldwin. I always wanted to be happy, so I decided to be. Happy New Year. I'll see you in the next video.